What is going on, guys? Want to give you a quick update on some important information. Dan Mitra, our global community manager, tweeted out a Reddit post letting us know the TTK changes will be reverting back tomorrow, December 18th at 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. In the brief Reddit post, DICE stated that after rolling out those changes last week, we listened to your feedback, reviewed our statistical data, and have made a decision to return to the original TTK values seen at launch. They also explained their intent by saying the TTK changes was to see if we could evolve the Battlefield 5 experience and make it more enjoyable for new players, whilst also making sure the Battlefield vets have a choice with a more core experience suiting their preferred style. Clearly, we didn't get it right. From Twitter posts by some of the developers at DICE, we found out more of the reason behind this change, which was pretty obvious, that DICE was trying to change the TTK for the holiday seasons, where they will see a spike in Battlefield 5 sales, and then wanting to introduce a slower TTK for new players, hopefully resolving those quick deaths and reducing the churn rate, where players quickly give up on the game due to their unsatisfaction, in this case the quick deaths. Now, personally, I can't fault DICE for wanting to do something like this. They are trying to make the game as best as they can for new and veteran players alike. You always want to see your game grow and develop, bringing in new players to the franchise. However, the way they went about doing this wasn't the best way. Though I will admit the TTK wasn't that drastic of a change. You felt more of a difference depending on what type of gun you were using, so rip the Gewehr 43. The fact though that DICE split the community with the two playlists, making all the default playlists with the new TTK and the Conquest Core playlist being the only game mode with the older TTK wasn't a very good move. When I heard early on that they were considering bringing in two playlists, I was under the impression they were going to exhaust the TTD, the time to death issue, seeing that being more the culprit when it comes to those quick deaths on the battlefield, and thought if they were going to bring in two playlists, the Conquest Core playlist would have been the new TTK values, but no, that turns out not to be the case. Some of the DICE developers were saying they were planning on bringing out all game modes with the older TTK values, so instead there being a Conquest Core, we would have been seeing a Breakthrough Core and a Grand Operations Core, but that got quickly shot down by the community's concern by it dividing the player base. For me, after playing a good chunk of Battlefield 5 already, I'd have to say it's a really buggy game and needs to be fixed as soon as they can. Everywhere from Tides of War progression not progressing for some people when they complete a task, to the scary, almost game-breaking, I can't heal myself with a health pouch from time to time, that is on the edge to literally breaking the game if DICE doesn't catch that soon and it gets out of hand. I know DICE is aware of these issues I've just mentioned, but if DICE wants to eliminate a high churn rate, they need to get ahead of these bugs that is frustrating the player base, with the TTD and the quick deaths included there. It's not just one problem. Hopefully we're on the right track now and DICE is getting closer to resolving these bugs. I understand it's much easier said than done to just go in there and fix these problems, and hopefully by a tweet reply by David Sirlin where he said the TTD issue and another unsaid culprit are the bigger issue to frustrating players. So again, hopefully that means some light at the end of the tunnel here. With all that said, I'm sure there'll be some players out there who will say the two playlist deal should have never happened in the first place. And even though I agree with that, and you don't want to necessarily justify this move by DICE, I think another tweet reply by David Sirlin by someone in the community who reflected this same sentiment, where David replied and said, "You are not incorrect in my opinion, but the end result is what matters, and we got some good finds and data out of it too." So at the end of the day, hopefully some type of good can come out of this fiasco, and we can all get back to enjoying Battlefield again. But that is it for you guys today. Again, I always appreciate you guys being here. I am Livid, and I'll catch you guys again later.